The End Day was a paltry 22 years ago. I guess we all just missed it. Like, we just went by and none of us noticed. But there was an End Day, and it was in 1997. Welcome to Crystalis, a game that I have, of course, already played on this channel, but it was many years ago, before I actually figured out how to do, like, good quality video and audio stuff in a decent resolution. And at the time, I played it with my then trademark gimmick to play all the games in super speed, which, in retrospect, does not do a great job of actually sharing all of the games. So, Crystalis is a game I figure we go back to, do a regular playthrough, just a vanilla playthrough of Crystalis. I do have an ulterior motive, of course, because very recently they came out with the Crystalis randomizer, and as you guys know, I do like me some randomizers. So, before we get up to the randomizer, before we build up to that, I want to make sure we're all pretty well acquainted with the vanilla Crystalis, and it's just a great game to sit down and play. And I've also noticed that either I pronounce the name of this game incorrectly, or all of you pronounce it incorrectly, and I don't know which. I'm going to assume that I'm right and everybody else is wrong. That's what I'm going to work under that assumption to begin with. Crystalis is, if you've never seen it before, an action-adventure game on the NES. It kind of splits the difference between stuff like Zelda and then like a more traditional RPG, in that you have to kill monsters to gain money and experience points and things. There's lots of different equipment to buy and switch to. And most of the game is just about navigating these hallway-style dungeons. And really, there's two main obstacles throughout the game. Obstacle number one is you have to be on a certain experience level in order to damage most of the bosses. So we will be doing breaks to grind throughout the game. I think I know where I want to do the grinding. Like, we've got to grind to level 2 out here on the overworld before we do much of anything else. The first dungeon of the game, we can't even damage the monsters inside until level 2, and then the boss of that dungeon we can't damage to level 3. Just have to be mindful of that going forward. This is not a problem your very first time playing the game, because obviously you don't know where to go. Anyway, it's only a problem on replays when you know where to go and you're not going to get stuck anywhere. But then the other obstacle is plot flags. For example, I've got to wake this guy up with my alarm flute that I bought to get this windmill key, but this guy's not even in this cave until you've talked to the wise man Zebu. So I just happen to know, go trip the plot flag with Zebu, then I come in here and the guy is asleep, and then I wake him up with an alarm flute, and because I've done that, I get the windmill key, and because I've done that, the windmill begins to work, and because I've done that, the cave opens. But, like I said, before we go into that cave, we have to get to level 2 and gain 30 experience points. So we're going to do that first, by killing this guy over and over and over again, and grabbing his little coin. We could get some armor, but I don't really think I'm going to need armor. I'm going to buy armor in 2 locations in the game, just to make sure my defense isn't absolutely terrible. And then the end game armor you don't have to buy. You find it in a treasure box. So if I actually get in trouble against this guy here, I can go and... when you're done powering up the windmill, Zebu wants to reward you, and he gives you a healing spell. But hopefully we won't need that yet. Maybe we'll go to like 25 against this guy, and then start walking over to the cave and seeing if there are more were-tigers in the way. Maybe a couple more blobs. Lots of blobs in this game. It's a very blobby game. 2 more of these guys, and then maybe then we'll move on. But yeah, you gotta be level 2 before you even step foot in that dungeon. There are 4 swords in the game. Each sword has a different element. They get progressively stronger as you go. The starting sword is the Sword of Wind. It is the weakest. This Tiger Man should put me over my limit, I think. Oh, they're only worth 1. Them and the blobs are worth the same. Is there one hiding up here? No. But Zebu will give me my spell. That was nice of him. We just need 1 more Tiger Man. Here we go. Oh, 2 of them here. I get my pick today. And before we go into this dungeon, we're going to drop a quick safety save, because I might get poisoned and die. We'll just save over Moose. We don't need Moose anymore. And yeah, in we go. And we should be able to gain a level just going through this dungeon. And we want to be careful and use our magic sword bullets. If you hold down the sword button, you can charge up a sword bullet. Because if we come into contact with most of the monsters in this dungeon, we'll get poisoned. I did buy an antidote herb, just so we have one, but if we get poisoned twice, I really should have bought warp boots, is what I should have bought, instead of an antidote herb. If I have to go back to town because I get poisoned or too damaged or run out of MP or something, I'll buy some warp boots. Otherwise, I'll just buy some in the next town, which should be pretty close here. You got 2 ways to deal damage in this game. You can use your... Well, there's more than 2 ways, but you can use your sword bullets like I'm doing to kind of fight safely from a distance. There's a lot of watch and react kind of fights in this game. Or if you know the monster is kind of safe, you can just go all choppy-choppies on him. You can just go straight up the chop-chops. The first thing we want to do in this dungeon, though, is head this way and get our first sword power item. Each sword has a ball and a bracelet to power up. Beware of bats. Bats are everywhere, in Crystalis as in life. Now that my sword is powered up, I've got a much bigger bullet that I can charge to, and I can use the power of the Sword of Wind to knock down rock walls. You kind of see how I'm using the edge of the screen here to push that guy backwards, because he's got a projectile attack. And if he's on screen, he can fire at me, but if I've pushed him off screen, he cannot. That's just a dead end. We need to go that way. So I can safely fight him just by inching forward with my bullet, and as long as I keep pushing him off screen... Oop, it didn't even charge up there. You can safely fight monsters like that. It's just kind of a matter of managing the enemies on screen so you don't get overwhelmed. Because it's very easy to get overwhelmed, and enemies do a lot of damage, especially if you're not wearing armor, which I'm not, because I didn't feel like grinding up money. But yeah, we should get to 60 experience before we... Oh no, I don't want to be in here yet. I want to be... This way is a treasure box I want to get. Just these early treasure boxes are kind of important to pick up because you get medical herbs and antidote herbs and things that you can use. Hopefully I don't need to use all my medical herbs because I do need one for plot reasons later. So if I get away with not using them all... I can triple plot flag with it when the time comes. Oh, maybe I did want to go through that other passage. It's very easy to get lost in the dungeons of this game. They are all kind of samey. There's my level. Beautiful. Maybe I did want to hop in here real quick. There should be just a dead-end passage with a rock monster. Yeah, and a treasure box. Yeah, there's some free warp boots, so I don't need to buy those. I've got those now. Beautiful. There is lots of glitches in the game. One of the famous glitches is allows you to get all the items you want. Not necessarily for free, but if you do some finagling on the shop menu, if you highlight the item you want and then very quickly change to another item before you push the confirm button to buy it, you'll buy the item you originally selected at the price of the object you confirmed on. So if the item is at the edge of a shop menu, you can usually get it for free. Otherwise, you can usually get an expensive item for much cheaper. I did the glitch backwards when I was trying to demonstrate it on stream. So I was trying to buy some armor that cost $140, which I can afford now in the next town. Beautiful. But I did the glitch backwards, so I ended up buying nothing for $140, and I just gave the man $140 and got nothing in return. Okay, so things are going really well for right now. We're going to keep this refresh spell equipped, and we're going to hopefully dodge the bats on this vampire and get right up on him with the choppies. The bats are not behaving very much. You kind of want to get the bats to circle around you, but you also have to position yourself to be able to attack the vampire. Pretty much all of the... I got bouncy boots! Pretty much all of the bosses are kind of structured in this way. All the boss fights are super fast, whether you win or lose. Either you will die pretty much immediately, or you will kill the boss very, very quickly. So before we do anything out here in the overworld, we do need to level up to 4 for the next boss. On the monsters out here in the overworld. Do I want to go all the way to 5, actually? I don't think so. I think it's just 4 is fine for now. The first thing we need to do is pick up this item hidden in the grass. The Statue of Onyx. A man in town has lost that statue, and we need to return it to him. And this is one of the things that Crystalis gets criticized for in modern times, is that some of these plot flags are kind of inscrutable. But I don't know, when I was a kid I solved this game, we figured it all out. Like, he even tells you, like, he dropped his statue near the river. Like, come on, you're not going to find that? I think it's reasonable to expect that you can find that. And he gives us a gas mask. What a bro. Let's go ahead and buy our first set of armor. We're just going to buy this leather armor. Beautiful. We'll go ahead and equip that. And I think I'll just drop the save here. And we do need to be level 4 before we go into the poison swamp with the gas mask. So I guess we're going to be fighting these doggy dudes over here. These guys always look like just bulldogs to me, like hatchet dogs. They like to throw hatchets at you. I will also pick up the coins. You don't do a lot of shopping in this game, but there is some shopping. In fact, I probably should have picked up a second set of warp boots. Oh, I couldn't afford it. Never mind. So I bought this armor. Yeah, like mushrooms I cannot even damage, so it's going to have to be these dog creatures. And we got to go to 150. Because nothing in the next area can be damaged until level 4. There's a boss. Oh, you know what? No, there's some stuff we can do here, actually. We don't have to be completely leveled up just yet. We just have to head into the poison marsh. I just want to confirm. Level 3 doesn't... Yeah, level 3 doesn't damage these things. We do have to poke our head up into this place. So we can't understand the little creatures here. You know what? I'm going to walk back to kill some monsters. We'll preserve those warp boots for a little bit longer. Cannot jump inside the poison marsh because you can only equip one passive piece of equipment, and the gas mask counts as a passive piece of equipment. Anything on this row of items here. This top row is all consumable items. This row is all for like key items that you'll find. So the rabbit boots we cannot equip if we need one of those other key items, like the gas mask does count. And there are others later in the game that we will also come into contact with. So because we've gone to the village of Oak, just stepped inside, we have tripped the plot flag that allows us to come up across this bridge now into the house of Tornell, the military trainer. There's 4 wise men in the game. One is Zebu. Zebu is like the grand poobah of them all. He's like the leader. Tornell is like their military and karate instructor. And Tornell says, I will teach you more magic if you can best my student Stom in a sparring match. And Stom always defeats you the first couple times, but if we mash properly on this 3rd time, I'm going to mash ferociously and force him to the back wall. Alright, let's have at it. Let's go! Can you hear that? The mash is real! Be the mash! Absorb the mash! So okay, he's given us a telepathy spell. That lets us talk to the dwarf creatures in Oak. And then he says he'll teach us more magic if we find the tornado bracelet on Mount Saber. There's nothing we do on Mount Saber right now. It's ice walls for days. So until we have a fire sword, we cannot even navigate Mount Saber. So our next step is... Oh, you know what? I'll bet if we get the Sword of Fire, then we can fight the mushrooms out here. That's what we'll do. We'll go get the Sword of Fire. And then we'll worry about leveling up to 4. Actually, Sword of Fire might let us fight in the marsh, too. Inside the poison swamp. Flying enemies are ridiculous in this game, as we will see. So now we have telepathy. Just for having the spell, we can now talk to the creatures in this village. And that creature lost their child. They're a terrible mother. To find the child, I just happen to know we just go down this way and get around that pill bug there. We could speed this up by using warp boots, but I mean, we're only like a block away, so let's not complicate things too much yet. Warp boots are a nice get out of jail card. Like if I get in major trouble out in a dungeon somewhere, but I've got warp boots, pretty safe. So because we've rescued the child, now the people of the town trust us. She gives us a flute that summons a giant insect monster, and the elder will give us the Sword of Fire. We can now fight the boss of the Poison Swamp, but we can't actually damage it until level 4. So we need to go... Now we have a Sword of Fire, though. I think we can damage more kinds of monsters out on the overworld and speed up. These guys we still can't fight. Still too low level to fight them. But the dog monsters will die faster, and the mushrooms out here should now be susceptible to us. I just like my boogie boots equipped. I just want to equip the boogie boots everywhere. And I think we actually need to be 5 before the next, like, plot area. Maybe 5. Maybe I can do... The next plot area is Mount Saber, and I think some of the stuff we might be able to fight at level 4. I'm not actually sure. The ultimate goal is to go north of here to a section of Mount Saber that is just blocked by a text box. Oh, there's a plot flag I missed in Brynmere, actually, that I'll have to remember to get. Do I want to go get that now? No, because we're gonna hit Brynmere again before all's said and done. Whoops, forgot my gas mask. I don't think I'm going to hit the inn. I don't think I'll need the inn, but I do want to poke my head into Oak just to drop the safety save, I think. Just right there. Now I should be able to fight the monsters in the marsh to level 5, which we might do. Yeah, they're good for 8, but they're going to be really tough to kill right now. Fortunately, we've got this big empty space up here, and we're going to use this insect flute to summon a massive giant insect and walk directly into the path of its shots is what we're going to do. We're out of magic points. This flying creature is where most of the damage in this fight comes from. It says Brickroad and then immediately gets shot by the creature again. Ooh, and we're dead. It's just that quick. I was paying attention to crossing the giant insect over and got blindsided by his friend, the flying, horrible pillbug monster. I guess there's no point in going into the fight at less than full health, though. So I really can't take too much damage in here, but I think if I summon the monster on the right pixel, like here, maybe? If you stand in just the right spot, you're not in the line of his fire. Yeah, I'm a little too off-center there. Okay, don't shoot me, bro. Let's use up this 8 magic points. That's fine. I don't want to stand at the edge of the screen because I don't want to get blindsided by the big bug, or the little bug. This guy here. I hate this jabroni. Get out of the way. Stop shooting me. Move, out of here. I should not have gone for that shot. That was an unsafe shot. Yikes! Okay, we got the jukes. No, we don't have the jukes. He shot me from off screen. That wasn't fair. We call foul on that. Can we get a foul call on that? Alright, I think it's abundantly clear I'm not saving any money here. Shoutouts to Half Frog Man for sponsoring this video. If you like the video and want to see more, please remember to tickle my thumb, leave a friendly comment, and ring my little bell.